please drop the bravado, because talking about oneself is never received well. Hi guys, my name's Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon Sales. We're a sales training and development agency based in the UK as well as the USA and serving clients worldwide. And here today in day 22 of 119 days of cold calling training, we're here to talk about the drop the bravado approach. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link below to get an additional 17 strategies that are not shared in this training. So fundamentally, today we're talking about drop the bravado. So much like when we discussed back in training number 15, bear with me a second, training number 15 with the don't you dare say it technique, dropping the bravado is in a way similar to this, in that like no one from the outset likes to be told about how fantastic your company is, what you've achieved, revenue numbers, company size, anything to that extent that demonstrates a company's success or your own personal success should never be something that you lead with, potentially even mention unless you've been asked about it, or unless it's important to a narrative that you can weave in to the pitch where it makes sense to the prospect. So what I'm trying to underline here, and there might be, for example, a lot of people in different countries or cultures or other sales trainers who would disagree, but I would say that hearing anything that could be interpreted in any way, and remember, unequivocal communication is powerful, and it's important that if anything in any way could be interpreted as arrogant or boastful, braggadocious, it's not positive, it's negative, okay? Of course, those words could be mirrored with self-confident, with assertive, but you tread a dangerous line when you walk any of those paths on an initial cold call, because they are not the things that people care about when they're hearing you for the first time, okay? It's really just about the fact that, what is it that's in it for me? What is it that you can give to me over the place of a cold call that's going to demonstrate value? I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you do, until you demonstrate that there's value in what you do. And that's the important thing here. At Pearl Lemon Leads, our sister agency, check us out, by the way. We do B2B lead generation. But anyway, we just get given scripts from clients, and from time to time we get a stinker of a script that talks about, please do tell them that we're a X billion-dollar company with X thousand employees, and something to that effect. Now, that can be important to the calls that you make, but it's not something that you need to drive the narrative with. You need to talk about the problems that you solve, and then you can refer back to that in context of the company. So yeah, Frank, so tell me, when you get asked questions like, so Richard, tell me a little bit more about what you do. Absolutely, Deepak. So we've been doing this for about 15 years now. We've got offices all over. We're about maybe 30,000 employees. I should know exactly what that number is, but there's a lot of us. So do you see a couple of things there that I've asked the qualifying question, tell me a little bit more about yourself, and then the way, I beg your pardon, that Richard has conveyed that information is quite humble. It's not bragging. It's not arrogant. And this is where, of course, choice of words as well as tone becomes powerfully important. But a good way to really, think about this is anything that qualifies as bravado, as, we've been, amazing. Anything that's a superlative, anything that's amazing, fantastic, brilliant. No, just don't use those words, because it doesn't work that well. Now, when it's not to say that you should never use those words, but there's very specific circumstances within which that you can use those words. And this plays upon the British sensibility of the gentleman, of humility, of downplaying basically one's achievements. And there's that argument, of course, that maybe your achievements therefore don't get enough recognition, but silence speaks volumes, and it's the way that you say things, and it's how you go about talking about solving problems that then will stir up or kindle curiosity in your prospect that will then allow you to segue into actually talking about what the company does. So there is a place for those numbers, those stats about you being the world's first, or I beg your pardon, there being specific ways to talk about yourself, which we'll come to discuss in the next training. But as a fundamental rule of thumb, if you can stay away from those kinds of words, you'll do much, much better. Keep it straightforward and keep it focused upon what your company does simply, what problems that you solve, and please do drop any of those braggadocious words.
Remember, we've got 17 gated strategies just waiting for you. All you need to do is bing, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description below to get access to those 17. Get some.